Okay, wait, it's on. It's on. All right, let's do a little mini whoosh in the office. Whoa! World team, one dream, one system, one cause. Okay. All right. Let's see. I will. Yeah, I'm excited. Welcome to the media and marketing portion of Admin Academy. Okay, let's go ahead and get us started here. Couple comments I will make is that although I'm not as cute with a cry as Christine was, but I won't be so ruthless on the slides, and I will leave them up. We'll go a little slower. Anyways, it's only because I don't have that many slides. So, but what we're going to get into is about media and marketing materials that we have with WSB, as well as the new WSB dashboard that's on the worldSystemBuilder.com website. If you haven't gone on there and seen it, we'll go over that. The 30 by 30 campaign counter, as well as the Everest Bubbler. So these are tools that we use out in the field, and the Office audio and video. A lot of people have asked us about how do we set up our Office or video, or how do we set it up for a home BPM, something like that. So we'll go a little bit over those things. So just a quick overview. We'll go over our website. In this section, website, the social media, the tools, and the AV for my portion of my talk here. So we had talked about, we had a lot of information with Derica in terms of communication. We had a lot of information about compliance, right? So this just very simply put, we have a lot of stuff that you can get from WSB, but you shouldn't need to recreate any material. Let me say that again. You shouldn't need to recreate any WSB material at all. We should have all of the tools and materials that you need on our site. It's been compliant approved. These are the things that we suggest the team to use, your leadership or your SMD will ask the team to use. I do have a note there, if it's internal to the team, like some of the communication that Derek had went over, use some of our design cues. And I think I'm gonna go over that just briefly next. You saw some of her examples here. Oops, well, they go away. But anyways, some tips on that. As you can see in some of these examples here, is that don't use more than 2 or 3 fonts. We're trying to make a communication as effectively, as cleanly as possible. So you can see that in here, try not to use more than 2 or 3 fonts. You don't want to be too confusing. Make the main point in anything that you create. Right here, we can see that there's this one, open house, right? And we see the date and time. So it's very clear, very simple. What is attracting your eye, what's the boldest, what's the brightest, what's the thing that's catching your eye. Try not to pack in too much information onto any type of internal messaging, okay? Try to make use of good positive and negative space. Don't try to cram in too much, this and that, right? There's some good negative space. We see a picture, we see a main title heading, we see the who, what, when, where, whys. So these are just some tips. If you do need to create something that's internal to the team, I know you need to send out communications. Everything is very visual these days, so keep that in mind. Well, let's move on to the WSB website. Here we have all of our posters for all of our events, all of the materials that we need out in the field, any type of presentations, any event-specific materials as well. They're going to be on worldSystemBuilder.com. But wait, you can't see them anymore? They disappeared? Huh? What happened? Yes, we enacted something called WSB Dashboard, which is a new login onto the website. This allows us to help delineate between what is on the public side or on the public site and what is internal to our team. So that way, when the public sees our campaign, they should be able to see who we are, what we do, a little bit of what we're doing, our events. But in terms of the other side, in terms of for our teammates, we want to give them the information about more teammate-specific things that the public doesn't really need to know or care about, right? We're talking about guidelines or materials, some campaign resources, SMD Builder link, all those things. So why don't you see them? Because you're not logged in. So in just a quick example here, if you're not logged in, it's a public view, it's a limited info. You see that in an events example, we have the Thailand Super Trip, we have G23, we have Hawaii, because these are the things that we'd like the public to see. But also, if you are logged in, then perhaps something like Admin Academy may appear, or other things may appear inside the top menu. And this is based on your login. Very simply, to log in, there's a little person icon in the upper right-hand corner. You'll click it. If you're not logged in, a simple link up there that says login will be right there. You click on it, and you can log in with your agent code and password. Now, this has been recently rolled out in the past 2 weeks. New members will need to register. If you previously had a 30 by 30 counter account, then you can use that login information, because we ported over all of our 30 by 30 accounts into our website. And if you haven't recently changed the password, then you can use that to log into the site. If you can't, no problem. Just click on the bottom there where it says new member, click here to register, and you'll be able to register your account. Wow is correct. So once you get in there, you'll see the dashboard. It'll be immediately bring you over to the dashboard, which you'll have 4 boxes. We're very privy to the 4-box motif in our business. So here we have it separated by events and webinar. So here's a very quick overview of, we have a quick link to Freedom Call and Team Meeting. You can get onto the GX Hawaii page, any of the most current events. So when you click on it, it will go directly to the page that you need to. Next over, we have a list of programs that we are running in WSB. In this case, it will be the GX program and the Titan X1000. So these will bring us to the applicable pages here. We have materials. Now, this is based on our licensing, our certain level, as well as certification. And so here we'll see everything from our campaign intro to our system-related materials, workshops, licensing prep, presentations, RSSA, and webinar slides as well. And I guess a newly coming an admin section specifically for Admin Academy related materials, or anything admin related, any admin related materials there. Blotters, what else we say? Some other things there. So if we click on that, you'll go to a members materials page, and those member materials will show up to download. Now again, this is based on basically user privileges. So we have based on licensing or level or certification that these are available. If you don't see something that you think you should see, then you can contact us and we can look further into it. Lastly, the last box is tools, which goes over our 30 by 30 counter, a GX calculator, the bubbler. We have several workshop calculators, workshop calculators.
You have that guy, I think.
And the SMD email list as well. So you click on that and you can go directly to these tools. Secondly, on that little person icon, when you're logged in, you'll see profile. This is where you can easily update your member profile information, SMD CEO, your office information, and your password as well. And then lastly, log out. Before I jump over to, we'll do a little bit live demonstration on the website. Before I jump into it, we haven't really talked about this new material, and I do want to go over it with you since I am in charge of the materials, creating a lot of the materials we have. So this one is the Trainer Guidebook. Can I get Elmo, please? And so the Trainer Guidebook will show you where you can find it on the World System Builder website. But here it is right here in all of its glorious fashion. In this particular one, we have a 3-ring folder that we put it in. But it is in a PDF format that is intended to print double-sided. So you can look into that when you get the file. But right away, we have the cover for the Trainer Guidebook. Oh, you can probably stop sharing slide. Yeah, that's okay. And then, there we go. Yeah, it's in big. Oh, wow, big. Good. So we'll have our top 10 reasons to win. This is our emotional goals right here. And you've seen Alicia go over this over the past few webinars, but just for our admins, just in case you haven't, the Recruit 100. I would definitely talk to your MD, SMD about this particular book, because they will be using it out in the field now that we've just recently released this. The Easy Start for a new trainee. The team bubble chart. In it, you also see a lot of QR codes. We use this QR code also in our agenda book as well. And this will allow you to go directly to this page and print out more. So if you see any of these things, it will go to a particular file for you to print out more. The MD checklist for the trainee to review, the Fast Start guideline as well as the standard guideline. That's the thing that Christine went over during the promotions earlier. Licensing checklist. So we have a checklist here, a very easy checklist for licensing, and a share list as well. This particular one is missing the memory jogger, but when we update files just like this, we will put a new file and make a mention of it on the materials page of the worldsystembuilder.com website. And something like this, where in this particular version doesn't have the memory jogger, but the new version on the site does. So you can just print out that one page and insert it in here and update it. And then as well as the share list and the prospect, circle prospect bubbles as well, all throughout the rest. All right. So that is our newly minted trainer guidebook. Yeah. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get this thing set up for demo. Yeah. Take this thing for a spin. Let's cross our fingers and hopefully it works. We'll go over AV later. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Do we have screen? Yes. Oh, and all its neon color. Great. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. Wake you up after lunch. All right, that's a color space issue, but we will fix that later. But here we are on the World System Builder website. I don't want to go over too much, but up in the right-hand corner, we'll log in. I do want to make a few mentions here. Actually, I will log in with my admin account. You will put your agent code here to when you log in. Okay, I do want to mention a few things too that we are always making improvements. Since we just rolled this out, we will be making improvements ongoing. So just like today when someone had mentioned about having an admin page, nearly seconds before, I believe Sonam had mentioned that, Christine and I gave eyes and were like, oh yeah, admin page, let's add this to the dashboard. So we're always making improvements. Like I mentioned, if you want to be able to select any of the events or anything, go to any of the pages, you can click on them here. I do want to make a mention on the system-related materials. It'll open up a page, and you should see the materials right here. And from each of these, you can download each one. There's a download button on the upper toolbar, or you can right-click and hit download. Okay. You will want to download these files. You won't want to run them directly from Chrome. Only because if they are PDFs, Chrome can read PDFs pretty well in viewing. But if you're going to use any of the fillable ones, like we just released this trainer guidebook in fillable form, for those of you that love to use your computer or iPads to use this type of thing, that it works best in Adobe Acrobat. So use that. Don't use Chrome, especially say like PDF, the PDFs especially. PDFs, don't use Chrome. Use Adobe Acrobat to do that. Okay. One more thing is that as we kind of move on to our next topic, is that we have 30 by 30 counter, GX calculator, bubbler, and workshop calculators, as well as SMB email list in the tools. We are making significant improvements to this section as well. We've already made it so that you can click directly into your 30 by 30 counter right from the toolbox here. You don't have to re-log in. GX calculator, we're making a significant headway on improvements to the calculator as well to be able to see how much you need later on to finish up your next GX level. So we're always working on things. So and hats off, I just want to take a brief break. Hats off to the team that we have in media and marketing. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, about all of our materials and tools. I know my name gets thrown around on a lot of this stuff, but we have a whole team, especially the WSB staff, but also Lynn, John, and a handful of people that have contributed significantly to the materials that we have today for WSB. So let's give a round of applause to them. They have done a great job. All right, let's go back to slides if we could. And I think we're going to move on to Bubbler, if I'm not mistaken. Dashboard reviewed. Social media. Let's do that first. WSB social media. Our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, all right here. You can use the QR code with your phone right now if you want to, and you can have all of the links for our IG, our Facebook, and YouTube. Now, just a brief mention on this. These are the approved platforms on social media. I think there was a couple questions on, or a lot of questions on social media when the compliance came up. Can I use TikTok, this and that? Can I use other social platforms? But you know, honestly, for us, we've just stuck with these only because these are the ones that we can manage, and these are the ones that WFG suggests. So that's what we are sticking with. In the WSB community, we can always do things to help out the team. You know, as an admin, you could possibly be responsible for telling the good news and what's happening. So we have the Facebook community for that. You can help the team in office by posting on the WSB community. It does help everyone that is on the community, and they see all of the good things happening or anything that's happening at all. Hey, this is what's happening in the BPM tonight. Or, hey, say hi to this new team member. Any of the promotions, office events, new licenses, all great material. Even revelations, whatever it may be. It's great to be able to contribute to the WSB community with that. And you don't know how many people love seeing it. Even one post can change somebody's future. The WSB community also has an events calendar that we just opened up back up. It's going to help the office add on events to the community. So you can help your office add on these events. Maybe they're holding a trainer academy. Maybe they're holding some kind of community campaign intro. You know, we don't really want your in-office campaign intro, but maybe you're doing something with the community or some other place. Just like, say, Victor Salvador, he's doing campaign intro all across the country at the offices, which is fine, but he says open to everyone to come to be able to boost up campaigners. So you can add that on there. Anything that has to do with RSSA, college prep, or estate preservation, you know, anything within the WSB platform that we help families with. We want to stay away from, you know, maybe the non-platform related events and presentations, okay? So please refrain from those. Let's just stick to the ones mentioned above. But with that, let's jump back to computer to go to the WSB community. Elmo, please. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Cindy. So here we are with the WSB community. It is a closed Facebook group. So in order to get on the WSB community, a team member has to be invited by someone in the community to join, right? There is an invite button right in the upper right-hand corner. So team members can invite their new team members right there. And there's just several questions for them to get added. But once you're in, you can see that there's a plethora of posts, pictures, what have you. You can see what's happening all across WSB. And this is definitely where you can help. There's also an events tab now. If you click on it, it will show all the latest events. WSB staff will be populating this with WSB official events, as well as the community should be posting if they have, like I mentioned before, events as well. And the WSB staff will go ahead and we'll start to standardize a lot of this stuff. So if we do see trainer academies happening, don't be afraid if we change your top picture to something more standardized. That way it looks more uniform and people can pick out where the trainer academies are happening. Okay? That's just a little overview there. Let's go back to slides. Good. So I'm making Andy work AV today. All right. Builder's Bulletin, previously the SMD email. So we do send out an email all across to SMDs. It's a weekly focused SMD email or weekly focused email to SMDs. And one of the common questions that we get in the SMD email is, how come I haven't gotten it? Or where do I get these slides that you showed on webinar and all this type of stuff? So the answer to some of those questions, you know, the slides are available from webinar on the dashboard now. And that way we can trim down our SMD email to something that's more focused. If you want to get on the SMD email, it is available on the website, on the dashboard, so you can click on it. If you're an SMD, you can click on it and join. Also, if you're not seeing it in your email, There is a little, you can check a couple things. Check your spam folder, because sometimes it goes there. And you make sure you add us to your address book so that it doesn't go to spam anymore. And if you do want to make sure, you can, there's a link down below. You see it right over there. That says add us to your address book. And you can click on that, and it will follow you through prompts to add our email to your address book. So just a little tip there, just in case you're missing the SMD email, or if your SMD is not getting it, to make sure they can get it. Let's move on. Bubble charts with the bubbler. We saw Christine go through bubble charts a little bit when she was talking about promotions, and a lot of questions. How do I see that bubble chart? How do I get that bubble chart? Well, you can't get that particular bubble chart that Christine's beautifully made, that was made on PowerPoint. It's painstaking. So we want to make an easier way of creating bubble charts. And you can do a traditional pen and paper. You know, I did show you the bubble chart in the new trainer guidebook, also in the agenda book as well. There is also one on MyWFG, but it's pretty high level. I believe it doesn't go down to the trainer or associate level or even MD level. But Everest has stepped up, and hats off to Everest for being able to build us from the ground up a bubbler program to create bubble charts. So let's get into that one. The bubbler is definitely a response to having a consistency so that bubble charts aren't always scratch on scratch paper. We have some consistency, but also it's a community-based bubble chart. So whereas we just showed something like Facebook, where somebody has a profile, they can log in, and they can start building out their organization, is exactly what happens in the bubbler. So I'll show you that one as well. You can keep track of prospects and team members, as well as there's a fast start checklist. Let's jump over to Elmo for Everest Bubbler. Yeah. Whew. Oh, I'm on it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so this is just a sample bubble chart here. Actually, this is our org chart for our team. Somewhat updated. Here you can see that bubbler is designed just like an organizational chart. It has levels just like this, and you can see your downline and downline as well. I'm going to briefly just go over this, just because we don't have all the time in the world to be able to go through every nuance. But in terms of what an admin would see or do is definitely help your team get onto the bubbler. We'll go over that in just a little bit. But inside the bubbler, you'll see menus on the left-hand side. And so this will go through a list view, outline view, geographic view, analytics of the bubbler in its usage. Any alerts, like if your team member had just signed on or like signed up, or if there was a new promotion team, something like that, then it'll give you alerts. And any issues at all, click the support ticket, and they will reroute any of the emails to either us or the support team at Everest. They themselves have a support team that will help you out as well. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see some things like there's a little gear icon in the upper right. So here we see a traditional organizational tree view, but if we move down, or we move over, we can see a traditional bubble view. It will redraw it just like that here. So you can see that on your screen. You'll also see other things like be able to show prospects. You know, and this is particularly good if you want to just lay out prospects for a particular individual. And you can sort out the number of levels down as well. Now you have to understand that drawing a bubble chart graphically and dynamically on a screen does take a lot of resources. So if you have a small organization, no problem. If you have a very large one, it can take a lot of resources. So that's why this number of levels is shown here. So we can adjust how much you see and how much downline you see. And if you want to export that so that the trainer can see the bubble chart, say especially for your admins, you want to be able to print up a bubble chart for the SMD so that every morning or every week or whatever it may have you, you can export the image, shoot it off to them. It's right there. You may notice all these different colors here. And so there's a little key icon that will show you all the different colors and what the level means. Gray being prospect, this teal being a training associate, blue for associate, so on up. So you can see that. If you're searching for a team member, you can use the search icon right here, type in the team member's name, and their profile will come up, or where they are in the org chart. The most important, I think, for everyone is going to be the bottom right-hand corner. This is where we can add a prospect, add associate, and also for SMDs, bulk add prospects and bulk add associates. So I'm just going to, they've all function pretty much the same. I will just kind of pull up the bulk add prospects. And again, you can go through this yourself and play around with it. I definitely highly advise you to do that. Also, you know, whatever your SMD would like to do, whatever system they're using, feel free to use that as well. We're just making this available for the team for consistency. So here, there is a sort of bit of, I guess, coding, you can say. Actually, maybe that's not a good example. Rewind. Let's just go add prospect. Maybe they have you add prospects, or maybe they have you add it from a particular list or a particular system that they're using. So we can do add prospect. It's very simple. It's first name, last name, some information about them, and then that you have permission to email them, and then hit add prospect. Now, anything with the asterisk is required, right? But it's simple. Once you add them, they'll get added to the bubbler. Same if we go under add associate, very similar information, nearly identical. They only have who the upline is. You may be possible to change that, as well as any message or notes you can add there as well for the associate. The bulk add prospects and bulk add associates. So this is definitely helpful if you are an admin and you need to do a lot of them, right? You have it in a spreadsheet and you don't want to do one by one. Well, this feature is for you. So you can just format it as you see here. There is a file for you to download. You can download this file, format, it's in a very particular format, so just put the data in per the format, and then upload it to the system here. When you upload it, it will show you if there is an issue, either with a format or with a particular information, or maybe the email is existing already. Then it will let you know. But very simple for admins and very easy for them to do that in one shot. Okay, I think that's pretty much good for Bubbler. Let's move back over to slides. We'll stay in frame. We'll just stay right here. So how can you help team members? Make sure that they sign on with their email and start using it. It's very important that they, if it's part of your team system, to get on the Bubbler and use it and be familiar with it. If there's any like exchange leg or move due to promotion or something like that, it's a common question. SMDs can move a leg over, and then they can promote the new member to SMD. And again, there's always that support ticket too that you can ask Everest Bubbler help. Did you know that when you add a prospect to the Bubbler, they actually already automatically get added to our counter? Yes. As long as you put the email in there, we will add it to the counter. If you have a counter account, then it will be attributed to your account. With that said, let's move over to 30 by 30. Yeah. Educating 30 million families by the year 2030. Whew. That's a big one, but doable. So right now, as of this week, we're at 2,189,000 and change, and climbing. You can see this on worldsystembuilder.com or our previous site, the 30m.worldsystembuilder.com. But a little bit of note about that. I know previously we had people join in through the counter on that site, but we are making changes right now that we'd like you to just use worldsystembuilder.com, and then we will create a 30 by 30 counter account for you. Bear with us in that process. It may be a little slow at first, but we're looking to automate that process as well so that you only have to do one account, one login, and you'll get all of it. So just briefly, what is the counter? Well, the counter helps us keep track of our 30 million. It provides an endless share list as well to our team members. So know that every person that we touch, every person that we help, we love to be able to keep track of them towards our 30 million goal. But also for them, they can see every touch point, every entry, every activity they had with that person inside the counter. There's 4 ways that we'd like people to add, or 4 types of additions to the counter. You can share the Saving Your Future book with them in terms of to educate them. You can provide them a solution. Perhaps they attended a workshop or a campaign intro presentation. We count that as financially educated as well. And lastly, of course, if they become a new campaigner with us, a new team member, then they can also be considered financially educated. We'd love for you to add them to the counter as well. We'll go over this when I log in, but it's a very detailed account of their contact info, how they're educated, their training information. Also, additionally, you will be able to see and actually click on their email or their phone. So maybe you're using this via your mobile device. You can click on the phone number and say you want to contact them, call them right away. Or email them, click on the email, and it will forward you to your email program of choice, that whatever you use natively on your computer or your phone, and pop up that email. Well, just easy to start an account. You want to start an account to track every entry. We have stats like your lifetime financially educated, as well as monthly stats that we use in recognition, actually. You can see your SMD base shop or net CEO. So in order to help your team, you can take a look at what's happening, what the activity is happening in the SMD base shop or the net CEO base shop. Sorry, the net CEO view. And you can also see who is the trainer and who is the trainee. As long as it's properly inputted, you can see that. So let's go ahead and jump into the 30 by 30 page. Let's go over back to Elmo, please. And I'll show you just briefly about that here. Let's see. I'm going to go home. Let me know when I'm up. Cool. Okay, so here is the 30 by 30 page that a lot of you are accustomed and used to. 190,000. Look at that. That's great. 2,190,000. So simply you put their first name, their last name, and their email address here, mobile number. I want to let you know that we have yet to use this information to contact them. But it's really for the team member to be able to make sure they have the right information, the proper information to be able to contact them again. Follow up, right? If you are here in our business a lot, that everything is about follow up. So that's why the information is there. And then you can select multiple options on how they were educated. You can just check this checkbox here. Add on whether you have a trainee or trainer. So in this case here, say I go out with Christine, and she is my trainer, right? I'm on my 30M account page. I would like to add her as the trainer for this particular person that we talked to. That way, we give credit to both myself as the trainee and Christine as the trainer, especially when we do our month-end and yearly recognition for the counter. Oh, yes. Let's go ahead and go into our login. Now, this is the old style of login. Actually, you can log in directly through the dashboard and clicking this 30 by 30 counter button right here, and you'll log right in. If account is not available to you, it will let you know. I'm going to do the old way because it's just a sample account that I have on here. I don't want you to see any, I don't want to get into any compliance issues with names and whatnot. But here you'll be able to see your name, your agent code, as well as your campaigner link. You'll use this link to add on, or a team member will use it to add on to their counter. You'll see financially educated tools, personal overall, as well as personal for the month. And you can see a list of all the activities that have happened. So everything from the date they were entered to their first name, last name, their email, cell phone, how they were educated, and all of that. Now, we do have a lot of people. We've done this since 2021. So here, there is a slight limitation on exports. We've noticed that a lot of people have a lot of counter ads, the counter entries. So we've been able to add a little export by year, and some people want that. So we've added that. You can export this page or export all in the year. Now, we are making significant improvements to the dashboard. Or to counter and dashboard, so now that they're kind of combined. I do want to mention that these overall totals actually will show sometime soon in your dashboard right away. So you don't have to go to your 30 by 30 account. Once you open up your dashboard, you'll get an overview of what's happening in your business in terms of the counter, and see what's happening personal overall this month. But also, how it would be awesome to see maybe the last 5 that you've entered in, all right? Top 5, or the last 10, 5 or 10 that your team has entered into the counter. That way you can keep track of your business. So those things are coming down the pipeline very, very shortly. Let's jump back to slides, Sandy. Whew, how are we doing out there? I feel like I'm talking a lot. I have, okay, I have 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes left. Are we okay with that? Yeah. All right, good. All right. So we already mentioned this. The 30 by 30 counter is used for recognition. Please contact us for any issues that you're seeing, any of the SMD or CEO promotions. We are still moving those over for everybody that have any promotions to SMD or CEO. So we can update counter links and move them over appropriately. We are still working on that to automate that, so bear with us. Everybody's favorite topic, AV, audio and video. Man. Okay, so first and foremost, you may not be an AV expert, okay? We don't want you to become some expert in AV, but we want you to be familiar and knowledgeable enough so that you know what's going on, and you can find key people to help you out. That's how they found me, so yay, and here I am. All right, just a little joke. It doesn't have to be like this. Gosh, this would be crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that guy. Or girl. But, you know, it's very important because every home BPM, every office is different, but there is some sort of basic setup. So let's take a look at some of the basic setups that you'll run into, that you'll see. And don't worry if this is a little over your head or whatnot. I hope that we make it very easy for you, diagram-wise, and that you can connect with someone in the office to be able to help out with this. But it's very good knowledge to know just in case you need a backup or know what's going on and what's happening. So just quickly, very simply, an AV setup for a home BPM. You know, this is very typical, right? We'll see this time and time again. Actually, if you look on Facebook community, there's a lot of pictures of people doing home BPMs. And so very simply, you just have a laptop. There's a little output port, a video output port from the laptop, and it'll connect to the TV or projector or what have you. You want to keep it very simple, very easy. Make sure you have PowerPoint clicker. Make sure the SMD has their presentation, updated presentation on the laptop, and that you can connect to the TV that's there. Now, most of the time, you'll know whose home you're going to be in, as a team member's home or maybe something like that, or a guest's home. And you'll know that guest, or the team member will know that guest. You can easily ask, do you have a TV or what the connections are to it. Most of the time, it's going to be an HDMI connection. Nearly all the modern TVs and whatnot have HDMI, so you can look for that. And then make sure you have a dongle or adapter that will allow you to connect your laptop to the TV. The last thing you'll want is to show up with just a small little laptop and 15 people in the room trying to look at it. Yeah, very tough. Here's 2 quick pictures of home BPMs we see right here. Look at that, ping, ping, the heat. So you can see there's someone doing a presentation right on the laptop, very, very possible. You can see all the materials that they have there, but also you can see that they connected to the TV as well. So very simple. Now for an office, it's a little bit different. It's reason why we've designed, I'll show you this design, is because you may be in charge of helping out with running the AV setup if they don't have a team member to do that. But again, to familiarize with it, everything starts with, in terms of video, we start with a video mixer. And this is just basically a way to be able to change all of the sources. Change whether it's from laptop to this presentation, this camera, and that's your video mixer. There are software solutions available as well. So we have all of our inputs, our computers. Maybe you have a webcam connected to the computer. Maybe you have a camera connected to this thing. Or you have an Elmo, you have a document camera. Very, very popular. We always use this thing. This is the standard TT12 that we use from Elmo. We connect it to our video mixer as well. And this outputs to somewhere. It goes out to, say, basically a splitter. Maybe it goes to projectors, or it goes to TVs. We also have a preview monitor. That's what we see. That's what I'm looking at right here in front of the screen. You can't really see it, but it is a TV right in front of me, right in front of this camera. I can see what's happening on stage as I talk to all of you. That's what that preview monitor is for. And then lastly, Zoom. We're doing this meeting virtually, right? So we want to be able to have some way of being able to capture that video and audio and send it out to Zoom. And so that's what this device does. All right, so like Christine said, what do you say? Take a picture. Click. All right, cool. Here's Gold Street, and here is Bay Area. Oh, Bay Area Financial Center, yes. So you can see they have several TVs. You can see in the front, right in front of, is that Cake? Yeah, look at that. There is a downstage monitor, right, somewhere that she can see what's happening. So you just have to crane her neck to look over at the projector screens or TVs, right? And then we have that safer setup here. And the reason why I go over this setup is because this is also the similar setup that's used in bigger events. So we kind of mimic what happens in like say a campaign intro that's happening in a hotel ballroom, or that you have an event like a trainer academy happening somewhere in a hotel, right? So that we mimic that the setup, so that way you're training for those events as well. Ah, look at that. So if you're used to the office setup, it's easy for you to transition to the smaller events. Audio. So that was just video. This is audio. Audio, we start with the audio mixer. Everything gets inputted into the audio mixer, like our microphones, whether they're wired or wireless. Any of our computers that have playing video or playing some kind of audio, maybe you have a tablet with music, gets inputted into the mixer. And that gets outputted into either your overhead speakers or gets sent over to Zoom. You can also use an additional mixer. So snap a picture of this if you'd like to. I imagine if you're already in an office, it's probably already set up. One thing I can say about this, since we're on the Zoom thing, is that make sure you only have one input, one output for Zoom. A lot of the time people will get echoes, or they have to say, oh, I have to turn down this in-house volume, right, the volume in your overhead speakers or something like that, in order so I don't get echo when I talk to you. That's because people are signing into multiple Zoom accounts, right? But you also have which is okay, but you have multiple microphones and multiple speakers at the same time. So to eliminate that, just have one source, one computer that has the microphone and the speaker being used. The other ones, you can mute their audio, mute the microphone, mute the speakers on the other computers. So hopefully that helped out. Let's go quickly over event roles. I am just going to check on time. We have some event roles. I'm just going to quickly go through these. We have, generally, we assign leads. These are people that will help organize, help get all the pieces together. They help run the show, run the agenda. Actually, if you don't know, even though this is Virtual Academy, Admin Academy, we do have an agenda for it as well right here. We can't stay away from it. It helps us keep on track, keep on time, especially for AV. You'll know exactly what's happening and what slides to go to. We have a video person running slides. They make sure that all of the Mozone and presentations are in order, as well as they do all the video switching. We have audio person working all the microphones, making sure the levels are right, get the music prepped up, as well as make sure you capture the events. Your photographer, your videographer, have a team member or assign a team member to be able to do these things, to be able to capture the event, so that way you can make that post on WSB community glorious and beautiful. Yeah. Just some quick tips. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't go there. All right, so don't be frustrated if you can't get the USB to go into the HDMI. It just doesn't go there. So be wary of that. Test your AV beforehand. That's a very, very big one. Test and test and test again. I cannot tell you how many times we've tested and things still need to be solved along the way. But it just makes less things come up when you test and test again. Does the clicker work? Is the Elmo focused? Does the Elmo work? All of these types of things. Make sure the fonts are correct. Ooh, yeah. Zoom, and always test on Zoom as well. So that's why you'll see across the nation, especially at the national workshops, we have people sign on early so that every single day, even if they've done it a million times, we still have people sign on early so that they can test and make sure that everything is going well, smoothly. They can share. When they do share, it looks exactly as the way they'd like it to. Those other things. No echo. So test and test early. Just quickly on other tips of AV, work with team members who have experience that way or want to learn, and that way, and hire where it makes sense. So team members can learn how the setup works, right? Or train the trainer, right? And admin can be involved in terms of making sure they coordinate all of that. But also, for teams that have bigger events, maybe hire where it makes sense. I know I helped out several offices build out their AVs, but they end up hiring people outside in order to bring in that equipment and connect that equipment. Keep it flexible. There's a lot of last-minute presentations, a lot of last-minute changes, issues that can come up, scheduling changes, right? So these things you have to keep flexible on, work for those adjustments and those last-minute changes. So hopefully there aren't too many questions out there in the virtual land, but we went over media, marketing, materials, the dashboard, 30x30 counter, the Everest bubbler, and a little bit about Office AV. Hey! All right. Let's go on to, could you show the video setup again? Yeah, we can just go back there. I think so. Well, anyways, yeah, we'll just quickly show that once more time. There, you can do that one there. There you are, Carol. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Click. Yes. Okay. Well, wow. There isn't not any questions. That's great. That's easy for me. I think it's like they know, or I was so clear and so. How to get onto the bubbler? Oh, great. A bubbler is by invite. So that one is also invite by someone that's already inside the bubbler. Okay, so especially if whoever is inside bubbler, there is a little add prospect or add associate, and you can add your team member. They will get an email saying that they can join the bubbler, and on the add associate. Okay, add associate. They'll get an email and email link to join the bubbler. They just put in their simple information, and they'll be on. You can also add a prospect that's been added, that's become a team member. Inside the associate, inside the prospect profile, there's also a button that says send email link, and then that way they can become a team member. Yes. Okay, sure.
If you make a data entry error in the 30x30 campaign counter, is there a way to fix it?
Yeah, is there a way to fix data entry errors in the 30x30 counter? Yeah, that's a good question. As of now, there isn't. But it is something that it's on the list of things that we consider. So we'll see if that comes up later on. But if that changes, then we'll let you know. Cool. Okay, we'll do a few questions. I don't know. Let me know how much time we do have, and then we'll answer the other ones offline. But we'll go through some questions that maybe help everybody. Do they get an email if they enter into the counter or a bubbler? Okay, if you get added into the bubbler as a prospect, you do not get an email. Okay, we're talking about bubbler. Let's talk about bubbler first. If you get added into the bubbler as a prospect, they will not get an email. No. If they get added as an associate in the bubbler, then yes, they will get an email. That's what we just talked about there. How do we remove, I saw a couple of things. How do we add someone that you forgot to include it between bubbles? And then how do we remove someone from bubbler? Yes, as of now, okay, so moving someone in bubbler, you can do that if you have SMD privileges. MD privileges will be able to move people around in bubbler. They can see who the direct upline is, and they can make those adjustments. Now, in terms of removing people from Bubbler, there's kind of a mindset associated with that. This was kind of born, remember, this was born, if you don't remember, this was actually created from Trainer Academy when two things happened. One, we had a variety of different bubble charts, but also, Coach did mention something about he always wished that he had a list of prospects that either he didn't follow up with, or they're from a long, long time ago, or everyone that said no to him, or something like that, right? You got to ask yourself, why do you want to remove a bubble? Even if they are as high as team members, superstars, and then they fade away, or they move somewhere else, or they're no longer doing our business. We still want to be able to keep in contact with them. We don't want to remove their information, because sometime it's going to come up, and you may want to be able to say hi to them again and know what they did, or who they are, and everything like that, right? So I think the name of the game really is follow up. That's why we don't allow people to delete bubbles. It's kind of a uniform thing. All right. Cool. Let's see. How can I add my associate if someone else already added them to theirs? That is just that's a more technical issue. Standard Mozone song playlist. That's cool. Leilani Santos, is there a standard Mozone song playlist that we can use? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's actually, I was thinking, that's one thing we didn't really add on to there. But we do have Spotify playlists. The staff, as well as Gold Street, as well as collaboration with a lot of people, we have created a Spotify playlist that has some great music. And we use Spotify because the paid version, so that way no advertisements. Make sure if you use an online music service for anything, you have a strong connection and you pay for it. The last thing you want to happen in your Mozone or in your event is some advertisement to come on. But we do use Spotify. I think we will make that available on the dashboard later on, so that people have links to playlists, suggestive playlists they can use. How do I change my position in Bubbler from associate to MD? Contact your MD. They will help you make that, or SMD. They'll help you make that change. Let's see. When you add someone to the counter, does it send an email? Okay, when you add someone to the counter, does it send an email or just use the information for tracking? Actually, full disclosure and transparency, it used to send them an email. Yes, it used to send them a simple email saying, hey, thank you for being part of this financial education campaign, yada, yada, yada. But recently, it has stopped working. So we are in the process of finding, making adjustments and a solution for that. So, but in terms of contacting clients or contacting people for that, it's very, very simple. I'm just like you, you're just like them, they're just like us. We don't want to be spammed. I don't want to be spammed. So, but I'd like to just say hi, and we'd like to just say hi, or on behalf of you, say thank you for being part of the financial education campaign. And that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, let's move it on. All right. Woo. Break time. Okay, I guess we're going to go to a short break. We're going to do a quick 5-minute break. So do what you will, do what you need to. And let's get back and let's continue strong. Thank you. Woo.